Today we're working on a Supertraxx driveway and pool deck area. It's an aggregate quartz system we're going to be broadcasting to rejection. We start out here, you see us surface grinding. There was a lot of kind of ice damage and whatnot from throwing salt on it, and some kind of a bad concrete finish in some areas. So we were grinding those off, making sure we had smooth but unsealed concrete. Right here we're making a slurry we're filling in all our damage with. Just using a little bit of the same exact quartz mixed with our epoxy, as that's the same exact product we're gonna trowel right onto the top. You see here, it's dried overnight. We come back out, we're grinding it. Look, he's really grinding it here. You can see, really getting after it. If you notice, there is a lot of extra people, and that is because it is a class. It's kind of, we're very hands-on here. I want every single person in a class to learn how to prime a joint, how to open up a fracture properly, how to stabilize it, how to fill it with slurry, grind it back off flush. A lot of times people get about 80% of it right, but the little detailed stuff, the corners, the edges, allowing for movement, making sure you're not going to get a fracture through it, not coating over a previously sealed pad or something like that. You can really just learning a few little details can really save you a world of hurt. Here you see me trying to make everything look difficult and getting in people's way with a roller. I like to move super slow. I'm kidding, but make sure you move nice and smooth. You don't want to be flinging this epoxy off your roller onto pool covers and different things. We did run this down with some color in it as a base, just to kind of hide any kind of differentiation from the patches we had. Remember, the smoother you cross roll that epoxy prior to broadcasting your sand, the smoother the coating is going to be, because the epoxy soaks up into the sand, and you really want to broadcast until you don't see any wet spots. So if you see any wet area, you do not have enough sand there. And remember, thin is the absolute rule here. It'd be better to do 2 thin coats than to broadcast too much epoxy down, roll too much epoxy out, and have too heavy of a coating. And then you'll end up with ripples and waves and whatnot in it. So notice you just want a nice, thin, tacky coating. We're going to be getting about 100 square feet per gallon out of our epoxy. Then you just want to broadcast to rejection, throwing it down till it all looks dry on the surface. Usually, we use about a 50-pound bag per every 50 to 75 square feet. And we'll vacuum about half of that right back up, and you can use it again. So we're walking on spikes so we can walk out on it and not mar the finish. You really do not want to touch it once you broadcast it down there. Don't swipe it with your hands. Don't walk on it with spikes. Just leave it be. You want a really smooth epoxy coating. Here you see us, next day, we're scraping it with scrapers into piles and vacuuming it up. We have a lot of fun in our classes. We generally get jobs like this where we can really spend a lot of time on hands-on. We don't want to be in a rush. We want to spend as much time as it takes for each person to really truly grasp what we're doing. Like I say, there's a lot of details that'll really make you a lot of money in this business if you learn them. And that's why I personally teach almost every single class of ours. I'm definitely on the schedule for the next year teaching every single one of our classes, because I definitely want to work hard at getting the details across to people. It's a super profitable thing to do if you learn this. A lot of damaged pool coatings, pool decks, and it's usually at a higher end home, and remove and replacement of concrete is just insanely expensive. Always protect your pool covers, guys. This job got a lot of dust on it, but fortunately for us, it was not mostly from us. This is an extremely desert place, and there was like sandstorms the whole time. Here's Big Mike from Idaho walking through. A badass. I really like to tape off some borders. If you notice here, we put grout line tape down and we're just rolling a thin layer of our Polyaspartic down. Our Polyaspartic is awesome for doing this because if it seeps underneath the grout line a tiny little bit and you see any little shininess under there, it's never going to yellow or anything like that. We broadcast sand into it. A lot of times we do accents of brick borders. You can even be creative and do like cobblestones and different things. Once everything's dried, all your sand is scraped and smooth, we're gonna go straight to our urethane. You see me doing it the old school way here, just because it was super windy around here and gusty and we didn't want to spray it. If you can show up and there is no wind, then we generally cut this a little bit, call for instructions on it, or look at our instructions on the website. But then we're generally gonna spray it out of a sprayer and just cross roll it looking for any puddles with a pretty dry, heavy nap roller. If you notice, we want this to be a really nice, even layer. This is our urethane, and you can also do the Polyaspartic if you want a little bit thicker of a coating. When you're done, if this coating is done correctly, you should be able to have a very permanent, repairable coating, something that you could maintain for 20 or 30 years. You can go over a really disgusting old concrete if that's something you have damaged, spalling concrete. If you learn how to do this, it's a very profitable industry. And afterwards, your customers can throw salt on it. It's totally impervious to almost any chemical. Yeah, scrape it with a snow shovel, it's not going to damage it. So come out to a class and learn how to do this with us and get some hands-on experience. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you did like what you see, please hit that subscribe button, the follow button, and possibly the notification bell if you want to get notified of when to see us next.